Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy The Real Weeb, and we are back for another video. And today we will be looking at chapter 267, leaks and spoilers for Jujutsu Kaisen. And as always, if you guys are new to the channel, please make sure to hit that like button down below and hit that subscribe button down below. And let's just get straight into this leaks and spoilers video now. The chapter begins with our boy Yuta and Gojo both talking to each other while doing body swap training. Yuta talks to Gojo to give him the final Sukuna finger location so that he can make Rika eat it and copy Sukuna's shrine curse technique, which Gojo immediately tells them that he cannot give him and declines his request. Gojo says that even though the final Sukuna finger can fulfill Yuta's copy curse technique requirement, it still isn't enough to analyze the shrine curse technique info. Yuta agrees to this because even with the curse speech, he still needed Inumaki's input on how to use it. Gojo then says he does not think it's a very smart decision to lose our connection with Sukuna. It's a game if I say it's like Hakurai, which he means is the heat which Yuta is questioning. Yuta then proceeds to talk about how if you want to copy a strong curse technique, he needs to take in a part of a jujutsu sorcerer's body that is pretty fatal to them. Yuta then says that even if it's a fatal part of the body, I can fulfill the technique's requirement by using a binding vow to limit the use. Yuta then continues to talk about and says that when the subject regenerates, the body part with the RCT which Rika eats, then from that point on, the body part which Rika ate will become useless and he can't fulfill his copy CT's requirement. On top of this, Yuta then adds that he used Inumaki's and Hana's arm because it was determined that they couldn't heal their arms anymore using RCT and modern science. Also, Yuta took apart with Charles's ribcage to copy his curse technique, which Hakra assures Charles that he will be healed later on. We then cut to the next panel with Mai asking if Yuta is informed about Yuji and Sukuna's response from Toto. Yuta then says that he knew about it and that's why they're gonna execute this plan right here and right now before they fight Sukuna, and that they will inform Yuji the bare minimum for what they are planning to do. We then have Yuta talking to Yuji, with Yuta telling him that even though you cannot use it now, your body is already engraved with Sukuna's curse technique. There is no doubt about that, since Gojo Sensei already confirmed this with his 6 eyes. We then time skip back to the present where Sukuna notices that Yuji is missing one more finger other than the one which he tore off to transfer himself to Megumi. And then he realizes that Yuta bluffed him, and he realizes that Yuta used Yuji's finger to copy his shrine curse technique. Utame and Gakuganji are present at the place where Sukuna's final. We then time skip back to the present where Sukuna notices that Yuji is missing one more finger other than the one which he tore off to transfer himself to Megumi. And then he realizes that Yuta bluffed him and realizes that Yuta used Yuji's finger to copy his shrine curse technique. Yatame and Gakuganji are present at the place where Sukuna's final finger is sealed. Gaku asks if Sukuna's finger, a special grade curse object which can withstand any physical or jujutsu processing, can be penetrated by that technique. Itome then talks about that through a binding vow whereby removing the objective of destroying the cursed object and focusing solely on applying the technique's effect, maybe she can pull it off, but Utame is concerned that it's only been a short time since she woke up. We then cut to the next panel where Nobara says, "Rejoice, boys. Kugisaki Nobara is finally back, and we see her coming back to save the day. She's there with our boy Yuji and Megumi coming back with her eye patch where she has finally woken up and she's ready to kick Sukuna's ass." We then see in the next panel that Nobara is where the last Sukuna finger is, where it's tied up and everything. She then gets ready and she follows up with the resonance on Sukuna's final finger. We then see the aftermath of Nobara's resonance, with Sukuna's whole body convulsing as he is hit by Nobara's resonance. Sukuna realizes that it's Nobara's curse technique and starts freaking out. He then says, "This is that woman's, this is bad. My curse technique. I can't open my domain at all. At this rate, the kid's sure hit effect will, and we see in the panel, Sukuna is badly injured. His eyes are widened. We see that his body's very, very messed up and he's freaking out. His whole body's messed up. It's like he's having a seizure and he can't control anything and he can't move anything and he isn't able to open up his domain and able to save himself and it leaves him wide open for a shot that Yuji Itadori can land on him very effectively at this moment. Yuji sees this and then he is in tears as he realizes that Nobara is still alive and that we see Nobara addressing Yuji as she says, "How's that for Papi, you idiot?" And I don't know about you guys, but this is just bringing me back through memory lane. Back when Yuji, Nobara, and freaking Megumi used to team up and go with each other to fight all sorts of demons. And like, bro, this panel right here might be my favorite panel in one of the in like these past couple of chapters that JJK have been releasing, just seeing our boy Yuji happy that Nobara is finally back and that she's up and she's freaking healthy as hell. He knew right away from that curse technique that it was Nobara, which is why he's just in tears, which makes this whole thing seem so much better and so much more wholesome. Yuji then proceeds to attack Sukuna right after, and Yuji doesn't give Sukuna any time to recover and instantly hits him with the soul dismantle. And in this panel, we see our boy Sukuna being pushed back, and he looks like he's on the verge of death. Our boy Yuji is just going crazy, landing freaking punch after punch, using his soul dismantle. And bro, in this panel, we see our boy Yuji missing two of his fingers, yet he is still going demon time. His eyes are widened and he just looks like he just wants to murder Sukuna and just like he's like going all out as we can see. We then see our boy Yuji not leaving Sukuna alone even for a minute. Yuji then knees Sukuna right onto his face and punches him very hard multiple times, which eventually makes the King of Curses throw up. But as we all know, our boy Sukuna will never back down and he will never give up, even on the verge of death. We saw this with our boy Gojo when he fought Gojo. We know he's not one to just give up so easily. Our boy Sukuna then punches our boy Yuji in the stomach, and we see our boy Yuji and his mouth just fills up with which looks like blood. And we know that this could go any single way, and that the climax of this fight is about to end anytime soon. We then see our boy Sukuna talking to Yuji saying, "Did you really think you could peel me off with your makeshift domain?" Sukuna then thinks to himself that Yuji has surely surpassed his limits for a while as he's not even healing his injuries with RCT, and since domain consumes a lot of curse energy, it's over for Yuji. And we see in this panel our boy Yuji's all bloodied up. He can only see through one eye and he's not even fighting back anymore. He's just looking at Sukuna while Sukuna's just heading towards him and punches him once again in the face. Our boy Sukuna is just all out. He has all of his forearms out. He looks like a freaking demon. He just like he's going crazy. He's nuts. And at this point, it does not look like the fight is going towards our boy Yuji Itadori at the moment, but Sukuna is then confused as Yuji hits him with his special delayed second impact punch, which sends our boy Sukuna flying, and just his whole body is freaking just like shocked throughout that whole punch, which leaves Sukuna imbalanced from that punch. The panel then cuts to our boy Yuji, and our boy Yuji just seems like he's locked and focused and ready to kill Sukuna. And with a cold face, he looks at Sukuna and he says, "Let's put an end to this ever cycling curse, Sukuna." And our boy Yuji, with his eyes open with murderous intentions, balls up his fist, and we can literally see the curse energy coming out of his fist. And we know our boy Yuji is about to just end this nightmare of Sukuna and just body him in the next panel. Our boy Yuji, with all the power he has left, hits Sukuna with a black flash into his stomach. And we see the reflection of Sukuna's face in this panel, and it is just beautiful. We see him in pain, all of his eyes open, and we can see the after effect, just the blood spraying out of Sukuna. And we see his face, and his face is just demoralized. His face, his eyes, his mouth, all has just gone into a traumatic shock and he doesn't even know what has happened. And it seems that our boy Sukuna has passed out, and we just see Yuji looking into Sukuna's eyes, knowing that he has finally won this battle and that it is all over and that this fight has finally concluded with our boy Yuji, Nobara, and Megumi finally winning this battle against the King of Curses once and for all. Now that was a freaking wild ass chapter, and in the editor's comment says that this fight has finally ended, which means the battle against Sukuna and Yuji has finally ended, and that there will be no break next week. So we will be having the fourth last chapter next week, and GGK is slowly coming to an end. Now this chapter had some crazy references, and this was just amazing as a whole. This chapter was 10 out of 10 in my opinion. First things first, I want to talk about Nobara saying Opapi, which is the same phrase that our boy Yuji said as he emerged from the box to surprise everyone when he returned when everyone thought he was dead and missing. But Nobara, now finally returning, has done the same, which is one of the greatest callbacks, in my opinion, to this series, which is just so wholesome, as our boy Yuji just knew right away after Nobara used that curse technique that she was finally back. I also kind of like the idea of how Nobara used the binding vows into specking purely to push the curse technique effect through into Sukuna's last finger, and the destruction slash damage is really more of a side effect that happened with her just using that to destroy Sukuna's last finger and also imbalancing Sukuna in real time while he was fighting Yuji to help Yuji and give Yuji the upper hand in their fight. Now that's the end for this freaking crazy ass chapter leaks and spoilers video. I do hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys did enjoy this video, please make sure to hit that like button down below and hit that subscribe button if you guys are new to the channel. And just comment down below if you guys want to see more content like this in the future and what other content you guys would like to see. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.